In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a knowledge base using Confluence. Now, first, before we get too deep into it, let's define what the word knowledge base means, because in the world of Atlassian, it can mean two different things. And depending on which camp you're in, the directions that you need to follow are drastically different. And so I'm going to define the first and most common knowledge base that I usually attribute with knowledge bases, and that is when you have a space in Confluence with information in there, right? Pages, live documents, images, videos, whatever you have, right? Meeting notes, how-to articles, right? But we have a dedicated space in Confluence with critical information, and we link that space with Jira Service Management, because Jira Service Management has a dedicated feature called, and you might have guessed it, knowledge base. And when you leverage the knowledge base in Confluence, we can then link a JSM space or portal with said Confluence space and all the contents within it. And then when somebody's raising a request, they can basically read and look at the Confluence information from within JSM. So that's one definition of a knowledge base, and I do have a dedicated video on that. So I highly recommend you check that one out, because there's like 4 steps that you got to follow to do that knowledge base. But for this video, we're going to focus on just the second definition of knowledge base, which is just that, a base of knowledge, right? A place where we have all of our information, our knowledge, meeting notes, how-to articles, anything that you want to, design documents, requirements, test cases, all of it. All of our information is just knowledge that we want to store and house inside of Confluence. So I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to organize that in this video. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let's jump in. All right, so as I mentioned, we're going to be focusing on that second scenario, which is how do we use Confluence as a knowledge base. We're not going to focus on that JSM use case that I talked about. Remember, I have a video dedicated for that. Here, we're just going to focus, how do we use Confluence as a knowledge base? Well, it's almost too simple, and it's almost too easy, and it makes it maybe sometimes a little bit confusing because it's so simple and so easy, right? But in general, all of Confluence, all the spaces within your Confluence, right? When you look at Confluence as a whole, all of this is your knowledge base. What throws teams off a little bit is that we have these categories here that allow us to call out knowledge bases versus teams versus collaborations versus documentation, right? And this is just a red herring, folks. Do not be confused by this. A space that has a knowledge base is 100% going to be a knowledge base, but a space that has a tag of collaboration or documentation or teams, that too is also a knowledge base, right? And so these categories here don't really do anything. The only reason that they're there is when you go to create a brand new space, you have to pick what is the quote unquote purpose of the space. And knowledge base happens to be one of many different types of categories that we have available. But don't be fooled, folks. The only thing that this is doing, the only real value that this is adding is that when this space is created, when you give it a name, and then you pick your icon and you select whether it's a collaboration or knowledge base or something custom, the only thing it's doing at its core is it's changing what pages, templates really, are going to be available by default when that space is created. And guess what, folks? A little secret. Most of the time I throw those away and I make my own anyways. 99% of the time I pick a custom template because I don't care for what Confluence is trying to set up as part of the knowledge base or the collaboration. I normally just go custom because I'm going to create my own information anyways. I don't really care the structure and the organization that Confluence is going to give me out of the box, but just be aware that that's essentially what's happening, right? So don't think that a knowledge base here is only for knowledge base. The whole thing, it doesn't matter which one of these you pick, they're all going to be knowledge bases. And so basically all that is saying is you create spaces, right? And you can create a space for documentation. You can create a space for knowledge base. But at the end of the day, you're just creating a space. That category, that purpose is less relevant because every single space here, every single space that you're seeing here is part of my knowledge base, right? It's where I'm going to put information. And so the real question is, well, how many spaces and how do you want to organize your information? Well, this is where creating spaces in Confluence is a little bit of an art, right? And this is where you can be a little bit more creative with how you organize your data. As you can see here, I have spaces organized by department. So my human resources has one, IT operations has one, IT support has one, marketing has one, mobile development has one, right? But you can organize your information however you want. I've seen some teams organized by product. So maybe they have a iPhone product, an iPad product, an Apple Watch product, an Apple TV product, and each of those has their own documentation spaces. And so it's really up to you. And this is where you want to work with your team, you want to work with your administrators of Confluence to kind of figure out what makes sense. How do we want to organize our data? Because you don't want to create a space for just a little bit amount of data. You want to create a space that is organized logically, right? Within a space, right? When we go into any one of these spaces, we will have a bunch of pages, right? We will have sections and folders that you can create. We can have a section just for how-to articles, for retrospectives, for meeting notes, for product requirements, for test cases, right? We can then get more granular inside of the space. But really, the consideration you want to do here is how are we organizing our spaces at a whole? Because you want to be smart about this. You don't want to be just too loosey-goosey. Normally, a good best practice is to associate a space in Confluence with a space in Jira. And so normally they have the same name or at least a similar name so they can be linked together so that they can work in tandem. Now, this is not a hard requirement, but that's usually a good practice as well. But at the end of the day, folks, I'm proud to tell you that how you organize your data, it doesn't really matter. The only objective you should have is that you ensure that your team actively uses Confluence to store their information, right? You want their knowledge, whatever's in their head, to make it into Confluence. Because no matter where it is in Confluence, however it gets here, we have the ability to search. And Confluence search is so powerful that as long as we have information, right, as long as we have information inside the tool, we can search for it. But not only that, Rovo, which is Atlassian's AI, can also search for information across tools. So I can be in Jira searching for information in Confluence. But the critical and key point here, folks, is at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that your team is creating information, they're capturing information. And so the first step is making sure that we have spaces available, right? We want our teams to have a space available. So whether that's engineering support or whatnot, then we want them to capture pages or whiteboards or databases or live documents, whatever the case may be. We want them that within the appropriate space, and a little subjective, right? But within their appropriate space, they're creating new pages. And there's a couple of ways to create pages, right? So we can go to the content section within a space. We can click the little plus button here and click on page. We can click the create button up here and click on page. Or we can go to any existing page, hover over it. You're going to see that a little plus button shows up here. And that basically is going to create a nested child underneath it. And you can go as many layers as you want down. And so you can create them there. Or if you just want to create at the root level, you can click the create button here and create a page there. So as you can see, there's like 4 or 5 different ways to create pages. But the takeaway here, folks, is that you want to create pages because all your knowledge goes into a page. That page is then inside of a space, and that information cannot be searched. Technically, it could be used through JSM, that other use case that I showed you at the beginning. You can be a little bit more relaxed on the rules here, but however they want, they should be able to essentially just create information, knowledge, and anything inside of Confluence is a knowledge base. So really the only trouble is how do you want to organize your information? But even then, that's, again, a little subjective because at the end of the day, the search is so powerful. Rovo is so smart, and the Confluence query language is so powerful that it doesn't really matter. As long as the permissions are set up correctly, as long as there's no private pages or restricted spaces, then you can find the information easily. But that's pretty much how Confluence works. And I hope that this video helped you out to figure out how to think about knowledge base when it comes to Confluence. Now, in case you were looking to figure out how do I set it up so that it's the JSM knowledge base, I recommend you check out my other video that will walk you through the 4 steps on connecting Confluence with JSM so you can set up your knowledge base that way. But other than that, this is just what knowledge bases are inside of Confluence. And so make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and also check out that link tree in the description. I have a lot of events and trainings and workshops and webinars and just all kinds of stuff that I'm always working on. And so if you want to level up your skills to the next level, check out that link tree so you can check out my courses. I have in-person workshops. I have virtual workshops. I have all kinds of offerings. And more importantly, if you need help setting up any of this stuff, I have one-on-one opportunities down there as well. So check out that link tree. Everything you need to take your skills to the next level or to get the help that you need is going to be in that link tree down below. So again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, check out that link tree, and we'll see you in the next video.